Unit 11.
Hello again. Are you ready to listen to the new key phrases? Here we are. Let's find some place to spend the night. Let's look for some place to eat. Let's try there. That's the prettiest house. That's the fanciest restaurant. That's the biggest event. That's the most important concert. Do you have any rooms free? 3 singles for 2 nights. 2 doubles for the weekend. Would you like to see the rooms? Here are the keys. What time is breakfast? Do we need to reserve tickets in advance? You can get tickets at the door. You can buy a pass. Could you recommend some place for dinner? Just down the street. Take your second right. On the left-hand side. On the other side of the street. About a mile out of town. It's rather pricey. And now it's your turn to repeat the phrases. Here we are. Let's find some place to spend the night. Let's look for some place to eat. Let's try there. That's the prettiest house. That's the fanciest restaurant. That's the biggest event. That's the most important concert. Do you have any rooms free? 3 singles for 2 nights. 2 doubles for the weekend. Would you like to see the rooms? Here are the keys. What time is breakfast? Do we need to reserve tickets in advance? You can get tickets at the door. You can buy a pass. Could you recommend some place for dinner? Just down the street. Take your second right. On the left-hand side. On the other side of the street. About a mile out of town. It's rather pricey. Well done. You've probably guessed that Liz, Wolf and Tom have arrived in Wales now. They're looking for some place to spend the night.
Dialogue.
Well, here we are. This really is charming.
Let's find some place to spend the night, shall we? Then we can look for some place to eat.
There's no youth hostel listed in this town. Do you want to go on a bit north or look for a bed and breakfast here?
Let's not go on north yet. Let's see if we can find a bed and breakfast here first. This is such a nice town.
Oh, look, there's one on the other side of the street, Davis Cottage. That's the prettiest house on the block.
All right, let's try there.
Good evening. We were wondering if you have any rooms free.
Good evening. You don't have a reservation, do you?
No, we didn't think it would be necessary to book ahead in the off-season.
Normally, that's right. But there's a regional Eisteddfod in Monmouth this weekend, so quite a lot of rooms in the area are booked.
Sorry? There's a what in Monmouth?
An Eisteddfod. It's a Welsh singing and poetry festival and competition. Now, how many rooms do you need? And for how many nights?
3 singles for 2 nights.
I have 3 singles left, but only one of them has its own bath.
That doesn't matter at all.
All right, they're rooms 3, 4 and 5. Rooms 1 and 2 are doubles that are reserved for this weekend. Would you like to see the rooms?
No thanks. I'm sure they'll be fine.
Here are the keys then. The smaller keys are for the front door, the larger ones for the rooms.
Now it's your turn to repeat that part of the dialogue.
Exercise 1.
Well done. Now we're going to talk about what's best, what's biggest, what's most important. Listen to these examples. That town was quite nice.
Oh, but this is the nicest one.
Oh, but this is the nicest one.
Oh, but this is the nicest one.
That was a charming village.
Oh, but this is the most charming one.
Oh, but this is the most charming one.
Oh, but this is the most charming one.
This is like adding as in nicer or bigger, and more as in more expensive or more beautiful. Now it's your turn. That town was quite nice.
Oh, but this is the nicest one.
That was a charming village.
Oh, but this is the most charming one.
That was a long walk.
Oh, but this is the longest one.
That was a pretty cottage.
Oh, but this is the prettiest one.
That was an important concert.
Oh, but this is the most important one.
That was a big festival.
Oh, but this is the biggest one.
That was an expensive restaurant.
Oh, but this is the most expensive one.
That was a cheap restaurant.
Oh, but this is the cheapest one.
That was a fancy manor house.
Oh, but this is the fanciest one.
Good. Now let's go back to Mrs. Davis and our friends.
Now what time will you be wanting breakfast? Would 8 be all right?
8 will be fine. We want to get an early start and do some walking on the Wye Valley Walk.
8 it is then. I think you'll be lucky with the weather. The forecast is good.
Mrs. Davis, what exactly is that Eisteddfod in Monmouth?
Oh, it's a big festival. You know, singing is very popular in Wales and has a long tradition. There are choirs for female and for mixed voices, but the most famous are the Welsh male voice choirs. This is one of the biggest events for choirs.
If we wanted to go, would we need to reserve tickets in advance?
There are many different categories with concerts and poetry readings all day tomorrow and Sunday. You would need to book tickets for the most important concerts, Saturday and Sunday evenings. But for the smaller ones, I'm sure you can get tickets at the door. You can also buy a pass for one day or the whole weekend.
Sounds very Welsh. Maybe we'll have a look, or rather a listen, after we've done some walking.
I'm sure you'd enjoy it. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Yes. Could you recommend some place nearby for dinner?
Oh, certainly. If pub food is enough, the Lamb isn't far. Just down the street, take your second right, and it's on the left-hand side. And if you're looking for a proper restaurant, there's an Indian one beyond the Lamb on the other side of the street. The fanciest one's out on the road to Chepstow, about a mile out of town. It's in an old manor house. Very nice, but rather pricey.
Thanks very much. That's quite a choice. Let's get our things out of the car then and decide where to go for dinner.
Have a nice evening then. If you need anything else, you can ring this bell. Thank you, Mrs. Davis. Good night. Good night.
Good
night.
Now you repeat the rest of the dialogue.
Exercise 2.
When Tom and Wolf want to make a suggestion about what to do next, they say, "Let's find some place to spend the night," or "Let's not go on north yet." Listen to these examples first. Now we need to find some place to spend the night.
All right, let's find some place to spend the night.
All right, let's find some place to spend the night.
All right, let's find some place to spend the night.
Do you want to go on north yet?
Oh no, let's not go on north yet.
Oh no, let's not go on north yet.
Oh no, let's not go on north yet.
Now it's your turn. Can you remember what our friends decided in the dialogue? Now we need to find some place to spend the night.
All right, let's find some place to spend the night.
Do you want to go on north yet?
Oh no, let's not go on north yet.
Shall we try the youth hostel in a different town?
Oh no, let's not try the youth hostel in a different town.
Shall we look for a bed and breakfast here?
All right, let's look for a bed and breakfast here.
Davis Cottage. Looks nice. Do you want to try it?
All right, let's try Davis Cottage.
Would 3 singles for 2 nights suit you?
All right, let's take 3 singles for 2 nights.
What do you think about having breakfast at 6?
Oh no, let's not have breakfast at 6.
Do you think we should leave our things in the car?
Oh no, let's not leave our things in the car.
I'm hungry. Shall we decide where to go for dinner?
All right, let's decide where to go for dinner.
Exercise 3.
Nice job. Did you notice how Tom used the word someplace in the dialogue when he didn't know exactly where they would do something? First, listen to the examples. I'm getting tired.
Let's look for some place to spend the night then.
Let's look for some place to spend the night then.
Let's look for some place to spend the night then.
I'm so hungry.
Let's look for some place to eat then.
Let's look for some place to eat then.
Let's look for some place to eat then.
All right. Your turn. You have to decide how to solve the problems. I'm getting tired.
Let's look for some place to spend the night then.
I'm so hungry.
Let's look for some place to eat then.
I feel thirsty.
Let's look for some place to get a drink then.
I'd really like to go to that concert.
Let's look for some place to buy tickets then.
The petrol gauge is getting a little low.
Let's look for some place to get petrol then.
I think the left front tyre is getting a little soft.
Let's look for some place to have it checked then.
There's almost nothing left to eat.
Let's look for some place to go food shopping then.
I have an awful headache.
Let's look for some place to buy aspirins then.
The countryside is lovely here.
Let's look for some place to do some walking then.
Super. That was a little harder, wasn't it? See you in Unit 12.